Good morning on Saturday, April 20th, 2024, and we have arrived at the Azores at Ponta Delgada, and I think it looks like a pilot boat. I was up at 6:15 this morning because I have to be at World Stage by 8:10 as my tour leaves at 8:30 a.m. This was very difficult for me after 6 lazy sea days. On the way to the coach, I had this picture taken because I have a $250 onboard credit as I am a Carnival shareholder. And here is the coach that will take us out on our 8-hour tour today.
For some reason. So when the Portuguese arrived here in the 15th century, what they saw was a wild island. So like the mix between you, they were like, yeah, I'm not getting on a boat again. So it's and so they would get really isolated, and that explained why we have different accents on the different islands, so same language, but different. If the Azores were flat islands, what would happen was that sea currents would pass through the islands and nothing much would happen. But because the Azores have big mountains, okay, what happens is that on the top of the mountains, the temperatures are normally lower, the pressure is normally higher, and so the water.
After a 45-minute drive, we arrive at Star Era Viewpoint for a magnificent view over the North Coast and the Furnace Valley. I hope you like these pictures. After this stopover, we would drive another half hour to a tea plantation, which is the oldest in Europe. There we would sample local teas and also visit a factory. We are at the tea plantation in Ponta Delgada, and it's such a beautiful day. Listen to the morning dance. We got to try some tea and some pastries if you want. As part of our tour, we were taken to a tea factory where we learned how tea was processed from harvest to packaging. They only do this from April to October, and it was actually very interesting to see how this was done. And attached to the tea factory is this deli that sells delicious pastries.
Here and there, but this is our normal temperature during summertime, okay? With the plus that even when it rains, it's not cold. So it's actually refreshing to have
Someone would come and then you would just wait for 5 minutes.
And it would erupt.
Ooh.
Oh, that's the one like in Iceland.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the Golden Triangle. Can't remember the name of that one now. And yeah, you could time him. 3-4 minutes and he's gonna come. Yeah, it's pretty good. The whole area smells like rotten eggs, which is a wonderful thing to smell just before lunch, I say. After our walk to the geothermal area, we were taken to this little village. There we parked and took a short walk through the streets to enjoy some Portuguese architecture. I especially like the doors, don't you? So we would walk towards the restaurant called Casino Terra Nostra, and there we would have a lunch. So we're gonna have lunch at this restaurant, and our lunch was taken out of the volcanic ground and it had been in there for 6 hours. Our lunch consisted of soup, and then it was followed by the stew that was taken out of the ground. There's this thing called blood sausage, which I did not try. I preferred to eat the vegetarian lunch. Thank you very much. So we're in the Terra Nostra Botanic Gardens. That's our group. This is the first time I've ever seen this duck, and I found out that it's called an Andean duck. And by the look of it, he's not afraid of people. He's used to people. And this is also the first time I'm seeing a Eurasian chaffinch. This park is about 30 acres. We didn't walk throughout the whole park, but it was pretty tiring. Huffing and puffing up the longer road. What a beautiful day it is in the Azores. Oh my god. So it was back to the ship after 8 hours of fun. And that evening we had an Azorean menu, which was really nice because some of us missed the food at the port, or we didn't get to eat as much of the food at the port as we would have liked. And the ship purchases the food from the port to support the port. And here is my favorite dessert. There was a performance by the Mentalists that night, but it was not well attended because everyone was exhausted after our first day in port. So I leave you here and wish you good night. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you have not done so already, and please do give me a big like. Thank you so much for watching.